Hello to everyone who found my podcast. Today is the 12th of August 2025, and I decided that I'm going to get this podcast out into the open today to all of you, to the public, without too much introductions and without talking extensively about my content that is going to be unfolding in my podcast. So this is because I've been trying to get this podcast out for a while now, and today there's an urgency about getting it out to the public. And so my first episode will contain just the readings of the book, of the only book that he wrote, Father Arsenie Boca, who is a contemporary saint, who was made saint just this year in Romania, along with many others. And the first many episodes of the podcast will concentrate around readings of his book, chapter by chapter. So today I'm going to do the first reading of his foreword, his own foreword to his book, and the first chapter. And so I will continue twice or three times a week. But in the same time, I decided that obviously, of course, I am going to pin an episode where I talk more extensively about his book, about his work, about who he was, who he is. And for those of you who do not know him or might have heard of him, just very scarcely, for you to better understand the magnitude of his personality and of his mission in our contemporary spiritual world. Because in the end, that would be the goal and the purpose and the meaning and the mission behind my podcast. I am bringing to you works, teachings, and advices and thoughts and guidance from our contemporary saints, so we understand, we have and gain a better understanding of what is going on in the world today on the spiritual battlefield, and so we know how to better position ourselves. And as his book invites us so nicely and neatly and truly to take the path to the kingdom, to find it and to start walking on it. That is the title of his book. So the book was written by my beloved Saint Father Arsenie Boca, with whom I have a very personal relationship, and my personal relationship with him will be sometimes the subject of this podcast along the way as I'm reading. And so I will just start with reading the first chapter from his work, Path to the Kingdom. His foreword as follows. Here are gathered a number of words, answers to so many tears. Both the words and the tears came together at the little table of holy confession, where the mercy of God shone in them like the sun in drops of dew. Those gleams, quote from the tears, we now offer together, Father and Fathers, as teachings is in due time to those who come after us from generation to generation, so that they too may no longer grope in the night of ignorance and lack of counsel, from which come all the evils that torment people, darken the times, and all too often cruelly strike the earth. There is only one bright path, living according to the Christian teaching, in all its depths and in all our sincerity. This remains the only sure way, which we must keep learning anew with each generation, with fatherly love for all who labor, and with much humility to all Christians. Arsenie. The first chapter. From the helm of the mind depends. From the beginning, it is good to start with a few known truths, namely, that all people without distinction are at the same time both the sons of man and the sons of God. That is, according to the body, we are earthly creatures, while according to the spirit, we are heavenly beings, who nevertheless dwell for a time in earthly tents. From God we come forth, we spend a while on earth, and again to God we return. Blessed is the one who returns and arrives home again, completing the circle. This is the path. But some no longer return. They are those who listen to an enemy enchantment, which draws them off the path and with corruptible passions tangles them in the world. That spell of sin over time weakens their mind, and so twists it that they come to call good evil and evil good, and from being sons of God, they become enemies of God. Their time runs out, the light of their mind is extinguished, and so night, death, overtakes them, left lost from God and not returned home. Here is the whole drama of man fallen among thieves, as he was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, that is, of Adam, with all his descendants, leaving paradise for this world. But from the heavens descended the merciful Samaritan. He is the one who has made us obliged to know what we are, who are our parents, where we come from, what we are doing here, and, in a world full of cunning dangers, how we must conduct ourselves, who is the one who's calling us home, and who sets the traps. For from the helm of the mind depends where we set out and where we arrive.